Hi, it's Belinda, Aussie Stitcher, coming to you on this 9th of the 10th, 2024 for my Wip Parade. I know it's early, but for the last, I think it's been the last 2 years, excuse me, random. I've been doing it during harvest because I have less people walking in and out, one less person. And today I have Sophie at work and William is coming back from his mass choir camp. So I was like, today's the day. I am going to actually, I don't think I've ever done this before, show you my finishes first. Then the whips that I've worked on, random sound in the background, whips that I've worked on this year. And random cats fighting as well. Then all my other whips. These figures I won't be exact. I will give you some figures and they'll be from January to roughly now. I think I did my last Wip Parade in October, and basically I stopped counting stitches at some point. It was a shit year, putting it quite bluntly. We were in a drought and I didn't really stitch a whole heap, and I ended up stopped counting stitches, and I picked it up again on January the 1st. So these stitch counts is from the January 1st. Hopefully next year when I do my Wip Parade, roughly around the same time, we will have a stitch count from the end of this Wip Parade to the beginning of next parade. Is that everything? I have my information here, so I'll be looking down here to get some figures, and that's really about it. So I should say my figures for the year is approximately. I don't necessarily count backstitching at all, and I could have missed something or whatever. As I was gathering things, I thought I worked on Mirabilia this year, but it's not written down. So, and I've worked on Stargazer twice, instead of just the once I was supposed to get. So, yeah. And I didn't even add those two figures together. So there's that. So for the year, I'll bring this over here for a bit. I stitched 65,239 stitches from 1st of January till yesterday, because I haven't stitched today, which is amazing for me. I have had probably, I'm guessing, around 40 days of no stitching days, which is about average for me as well. When life gets busy, it's what happens. So that's pretty good. I'm really happy with those figures. So yeah, I don't know what else to say with that, really. I'm really happy with that. I was very excited when I was going through my figures, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is really good. Been a really good stitch here. So let's get into it. For finishes, the first finish I had, which I think was about April, because I'm very good at dates. I think that's what was a perfect world. Stitch on 36 count ivory that I got from Antique Ivory. I got from 123 Stitch, and I did 5,687 stitches from the 1st of January until I finished it for the finish. I used all the fancy floss. but I used DMC black. I don't know if there was another option, but I used DMC black for the black. So, and my next finish was Lady Rose from Joan Elliott. The other one was the Scarlet House. And I had a lady in town who's very good at using a sewing machine, and she made it into this pillow for Michaela. And I did 1,348 stitches to get it finished. I don't know how many beads. There wasn't that many beads. I think like 200 beads. But yeah. And then last week, 2 weeks ago, 1st of November, I finished Autumn Queen. And from the 1st of January, I did 8,715 stitches to get the finish plus 600 beads. It doesn't quite sound right. But there. And this one was, the other one was stitched on 32 count Picture This Plus fabric, which I can't remember. And this is 32 count Ancient by Picture This Plus. So yeah, 3 finishes since roughly October last year. I am thrilled with that. And honestly, I don't think I'm going to get any more finishes this year. I have a couple lined up for next year. We'll see how we go. I actually don't know how many whips I have. I think it's between 45 and 48. But I did work on, including the 3 finishes, 20 of those whips. And this is the reason why I'm trying to whip down. I will still have it. I'm going to have a couple of new starts next year, but the reason is I'm trying to whip down to maybe 30, 35 whips. So they're more likely to get touched and finished by getting work done. And then I can have more new starts. So let's get into it. What I had on my Q-snap and I haven't yet stitched on is in this StitchNButton bag is Vintage Birds by Jeanette Douglas. This was started, actually I don't know when it was started. I don't know if it was 2020 or 2019. I have a record, but I don't often look at it, to be honest. This is going to be finished January next year, hopefully. Just move my needle minder. And this is stitched on also 36 count, that ancient ivory that I got from 123 Stitch, and that's upside down. Yay me. And this is stitched, I've done 4,800 stitches since the 1st of January. So hopefully with all these, you'll get a before pic from when I first started working on them to the finish. Do I show it now? So there we go, using all the cord for specialty threads, Wheat, Stye Works and Gentle Arts. These were my very first eyelids, and I think they did eyelids. I think they're doing really well. I feel like this is going to be an interesting Wip Parade, and I apologize right up front. But yeah. And the bottom is here. So reality, not that much more to do, but there seems to be a lot more stitching. Like I think I said in my update, like you do like one of these little motifs and you're like, oh yeah, that's heaps of stitches and it's like 300, and you do another one, you're like, oh, that's 300, and when you count it, it's actually like 600. So yeah. My other one, which is not in a bag at the moment, and I've been stitching on it every day for the last couple of months, is Outback Storm. So here is the picture of it and the preview. Now I have stitched 14,742 stitches for the year. When I started, it was roughly at 14%, and today it is at 18.5%. I'm actually going to keep a record of this, so in the next parade we can see the percentage difference. I'm not going to take it all out of the Q-snap, but here it is. So I worked on, I think it was 2 or 3 pages here in that tree that was highly competitive, and now I'm on to down here. Tell you what, when you stitching it up close, that tree looks really blurry and I can't really see this tree, but when you look at a distance, it looks fantastic. And like, it's all folded up, but it goes quite long. This is stitched on 22 count harddanger, 2/1 full cross. I don't recommend stitching on this fabric, but I'm not restarting it. So there's that. Love the colors. Now the artwork is by Jeff Pritchard and it's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. All right, now into my first box. This is in this Emily C bag. She no longer makes bags. Is Inspirations by Rosewood Manor. And I did 2,710 stitches on this. And this is stitched. This was started on the 4th of August, 2017, and it's stitched on 32 count Gold Digger Old Map by Colour Cascades. Colour Cascades is back up and doing fabric. So I've got that first row done. So I worked here. I did not count the back stitch. So obviously I did a lot more stitches on there than what it says, but I did not count the back stitch. And this will be coming out next year for a 3-monthly rotation. Outback Storm will be continuing staying out to do hopefully 100 stitches every day, or at least 2,000 stitches a month. And Vintage Birds will be worked on until it's finished. Sorry, I just need a sip of coffee. Also, I know my walls are very dirty. We're in and have been for a while. Still doing bits and pieces to this house, and the painting still needs to be done. I think I had put off washing walls because I didn't want to wash them twice. I didn't want to wash them to clean them and then wash them before we had to paint. I was like, no. But I think I'm going to have to because it's starting to bug me. It's been bugging me for a while, but I've reached that point where I was like, we need to get this done. So in this beautiful StitchNButton bag is my 3 Things sampler by Maura Blackburn. And in it, it says 3 things that will never come back. The arrow shot forth on its destined track. The appointed hour that could not wait, and the helpful word that was spoken too late. I do have some of these cards, but like this one, it's empty, which gives me no heights. I started this, I think, 2 years ago. And for this I did 884 stitches. I think I went to a page finish. And this is on a 36 count 1/1. Normally I do 2/2, but I decided to do 1/1. So, and it's just like a white cream fabric that I got from 123 Stitch. This is actually going to come out next year as my work on it every month till it's finished once Vintage Birds is done. Pretty sure it's this one. It's either this one or Scary Sampler. And I think Scary Sampler's coming in for a 3-monthly rotation. If you watch my plans, I've got it written down. I just can't remember right off the top of my head. Sorry for the zipping, but if I don't keep everything together, zipped up, I have a nasty habit of tipping things the wrong way and out it all comes. In this StitchNButton bag is Shakespeare's Fairies by Mirabilia. And this was started on the 30th of May 2020. There it is. And on this one I did 1,060 stitches. And this was just one of those ones where once I started stitching, it just went really quickly and I just loved stitching on it. And I can't remember what this fabric is, but it's 28 or 32 count from Picture This Plus. And I know when I worked on it that I worked to the edge and worked over here. But yeah, no, it was just one of those when I sat down and stitched on it. I'm doing so well with words today that it just went really, really quickly. And just love. Sometimes you love the design, but stitching on it can be that little bit hard work. And other times it just flows and you're like, I love this. It was so wonderful to stitch. In this Emily C bag is Royal Holiday. Do I have a little card? Oop. Somehow I feel like that was Glacier. Anyway, because the next one's Glacier. Royal Holiday. I don't have when I started it, but I know I started it for Sarah, the Stitching Mummy's birthday a couple of years ago, probably more than a couple of years ago. And I did 1,047 stitches on her. And this is stitched on 32 count Glacier by Picture This Plus. And this is where I'm up to. And I'm pretty sure this actually got pulled again next year to get another 1,000 stitches at a minimum. But yeah, loving these different colors coming in. When I've done all the seasonal queens, which won't be for years, this will become a focus for a finish. In this StitchNButton bag is a Midsummer Night Fairy by Mirabilia on 32 count Jobelan on Whimsical Winter by Under the Sea Fabrics, and I started the 5th of January 2020. And that's what she looks like. I started this because of StitchNButton Vicky and her finish of her. And I did 1,043 stitches, and I was having a slight heart attack with the colors when I was stitching on this and how it was blending in a little bit. And then I did I went on Instagram and some of the Mirabilia groups and just did a search for and a lot of people use similar fabric, so I'm not as stressing. But yeah, oh, sorry. Oh my God, suddenly very badly itchy nose. But there we go. I seem to have had actually the worst hay fever that I've ever had. But we also had so many flowers come out this year. Right. Next up we have Fairy Flora by Mirabilia. And this was a restart this year. And I just want to say about, and I show this bag all the time. A very lovely lady called Melody made this bag for me. And she stitched the inside and made it into a bag and gifted it to me. And this would have to be up there with my most favorite bags. And the fact that someone did that for me. So this is stitched on 32 count Silver Springs by Colour Cascades. And because it was a restart, I just started in the bottom corner, so I wasn't like starting the same thing. Let's just get this. And I stitched 888 stitches. But yeah. It looks a little bit weird when I'm showing it, but when I'm seeing it, maybe it's because it's just the light, it's clear and easy to see. Anyway, I'm glad I restarted her. I'm loving the fabric more than the other one. So this is the one I apparently stitched twice in this Stitch and Button bag. And I started this Stargazer by Mirabilia on sometime in 2016 on 28 Lagana Opal Blue Moon by Colour Cascades. There she is. And I did roughly 1,700 stitches on her. Yeah. Doesn't that look so good? I do find stitching on opal is not my favorite, but for her definitely is. Yeah. Always for some reason think it's further along than it is every single time. Okay, next one in this Stitch and Button bag is a Tree of Hope, which was a restart last year. And this is stitched on 28 Brittany Even Weave called Bright Sky by Fancy Fabrics, which is an Australian dyer. You can get her fabric, I think, off Etsy, or if you go to a Stitch in Time website, which is it's a stitch and store based in Tasmania, they were selling her fabrics as well. So for this one, I did 1,050 stitches up in that tree. And so next year when I finish a day nymph, I'm going to do the March Fairy as my work on tour finish, and Winter Queen will have a 3-month rotation next year. When Winter Queen goes in to be worked on till it's finished, this one will take the 3-monthly, and then I think I will put it in to get for a finish. I really enjoy working on this, and she's got Where is them? So many beautiful silks, and I like working on silks. They're not for everyone, but I like them. They're just so easy to stitch with. So there we go. Sorry. Okay. In this Jan Necessities bag is, what was my make it and break it? Portrait of Veronica, and I would have started this, I think, in either 2016 or 2017. And I hadn't really worked on it. I didn't feel like I loved it. So this was like a do or die where I was going to get UFO'd. This is stitched on 32 count, I can't remember what, by Picture This Plus. I do know it's Picture This Plus because that was one of the first lot of fabrics I ever really owned. And I did 926 stitches and I really liked it. I think it was just this black that did it for me at the time, but I worked over here and I really enjoyed it. So yeah. Okay, and this is going to be my work until the next finish in the Mirabilias. This is Day Nymph, who I started with Vicky Reading and Stitches, and this is a bag by my friend Melody. Okay, so I started this on the 1st of June 2020. And it's by Under the Sea Fabrics, and the fabric is called ZEP HYRUS, and it's 32 count. Here she is, and so far this year I did 4,093 stitches. I actually have worked on it this month. I actually worked on it straight after I finished Autumn Queen, just to get a gist on how long it would take. And that wing there was 1,000 stitches. This is all stitched with Vodani threads. And I had huge issues with fraying and breaking, and it was making me hate working on this. And then for whatever reason, the last two times I've worked on it, I haven't had an issue. I have from the beginning kept the threads short. So yeah, 4,093 stitches. That wing there turned out really nice. Some Krynic, there'll be some beads. So I estimate between the other wing, the head and the beading, either a January or early February finish. Just because I'm also not pushing. Like, I honestly find anywhere between 900 to 1,000 stitches, enough to see decent progress, and then I need to move on and stitch on something else, which is why I have so many whips. In this Stitch and Button bag is my 3-monthly project, and it will be for next year as well. I've only worked on it once this year, once so far, so I've got another working on it this month and next month, and that is A Forest Grew by Rosewood Manor. And this is stitched on 36 count Tyco by Picture This Plus, 2/2. And I started on the 29th of August, 2020. And I think I said I did 870 stitches for the page finish and starting into that second page. The pages are not huge. It's going to be big, but it's not huge. Or DMC, I have like 6 of those project cards full of colours. But So pretty. I do love it. I'll show you the back. I don't really carry threads, so there's a lot of starting and stopping and starting and stopping. So when really forward planning, when sampler, 3 things sampler is done, this is going to be my focus on a finish to get that done. Am I going to get this all back in nicely? Because all these cards, there we go. Put that back in there. And this Stitch and Button bag is Peony Garden by Mirabilia, and this was a restart this year. She's another one that has beautiful silks, and I know silks are not for everyone, and that's okay. If you don't want to stitch in silk and you want to stitch a Mirabilia, you can look up DMC, oh my goodness, versions, and sometimes, especially with the more colourful ones, variegated, not that one, like that one, getting 2 threads like and blending can work. Now this is stitched on 32 count even weave by Pole Stitches, and I think it was called Haunted. Oh, I've been looking for that. That's my tape measure. Yeah, Haunted, I think. I got it in one of those, when you order their special edition, where you get a Joan Elliott chart, you get a Pole Stitches chart in 2 fabrics. I think this was their Halloween edition. Anyway, and that's my start. And I did 982 stitches. And this is the edge of the dress. I was trying to make sure that I had enough fabric. This was my 3 monthly project this year. I should actually have sat down and explained everything. Sorry. I'll do it now because I feel really bad. I have, and it's really weird putting this here, and I do apologize. I have projects that I work on every month till I finish. And this year is Outback Storm, it was Autumn Queen, Vintage Birds, and some of the other finish, like they're worked on until I finish. I have projects that I work on 3 monthly. So I have 4 projects for 3 months, and they are just to get progress on because I want to get them to the point where I can see a finish. And then I've pulled 12 whips randomly, and they get 1 month for roughly 1,000 stitches just to see progress. And then there's a whole bunch of whips that I haven't worked on. And then if you saw my plans video, I went through and I randomly picked another 12 for next year. And then I have a set 3 monthly whips. I feel really bad. That should have been at the front. Didn't even think of it. And I'm not restarting, and I can't edit very well. I can stick pictures in, and that's the limit. So sorry about that if you're new and you've been scratching your head going, what is she talking about? I am so sorry. But in this bag from Stitch and Needles in Australia, I got this on Etsy. Is the March Fairy. So once Day Nymph is done, this will become my work to a finish. I don't know when I started it, but this was stitched. It was like a fabric of the month from Colour Cascades, but it is part of her everyday collection. I can't think on top of my head what it's called. but it's 32 count even weave, and it's on purple fabric because Iona's birthday is in March and her favorite color is purple, and there is no purple in the actual design, but it's actually helped it really stand out. And I did 2,742 stitches. I got out of some of the green and into the yellow, which was good. Very, very bee heavy. Seriously regretting my choice on 32 count. I would have done this on 28 count. Now when I'm looking at Mirabilias, I look how heavy the bead stitching is, and if it's really heavy, I up it to 28 count straight away. Next in this bag is my work to a finish, Anzac. A long dog sampler. I'm hoping to have this done within the June. I think I worked it out, because it takes me roughly 3 months to do a page. I'm in the second page here. I'll get that done by December, January, February, March, April, May, June. So anywhere between April and June, depending on, because you know, the middle pages have less stitches because of the overlap. I am doing this in plain 310 DMC. I'm doing this on a 32 count fabric, Flora. Fabrics by, I will try and remember to put this in. I can never pronounce her name or remember it correctly. From January the 1st, I have done 9,650 stitches. And this is where I'm up to. So we've got the echidna, spiders, kangaroos, koalas, maggies, crocodiles, flamingo. Oh yeah, randomly we have a flamingo sheep. The ships, the platypus, which will have the Maori word. And someone did tell me from my last video, and I didn't write it down, and it has a beautiful meaning, and I love it, and I can't think of it, and I am not even going to pretend and say the wrong thing because that's disrespectful. But thank you to that person. You are awesome. But yeah, that's the end. I will be starting another long dog sampler on the 1st of January, lo and behold. Just because I've really enjoyed just having a macronic. It won't be a focus for a finish for a while, but I would like to start another one. So I will. And then last but not least in this area is my Joan Elliott's Sleeping Beauty, which I am trying to work on a finish, but this one keeps getting kicked down in priorities. This was a gift by Stitching May, and Stitching May has done a couple of new floss tubes. She did a massive Wip Parade, and then she did all the stuff she brought in 12 months, which was awesome, because nothing like that helps you to like enable and off you go and want to buy new things. This is in a Stitch Necessities bag as well, and this is stitched on 32 count Belfast by Blush by Picture This Plus. And I did a whole heap of back stitching when I first started it, and then I did 349 actual stitches. So this got picked up after Lady Rose was finished. So I have the page finished, and now I've just got to do this page, and I just got to work on it. I do love it. I kind of want to finish this and eventually because I've also got the Sleeping Beauty in the Mirabilia started. That one's also massive. All right, so this was 40 minutes, and that's not quite half my whips. So I'm gonna pause, pack this stuff away, and get the other stuff out and continue going. This is gonna be a lot longer than I think my previous ones. So thank you so far for watching, and I'll see you soon. Okay, we are back. I have 3 baskets full of whips to get through. I don't have any notes. I know sometimes the fabric, if you really want to know a fabric and I don't know it, just ask and I will do my best. This one though, I'm going to start with 2 hopefully restarts. This one is in Emily C bag, and it is Moon Fairies, and I started this with a few people, Jessie Marie, I think StitchNButton, Reading and Stitches Vicky, Sarah, Stitching Kingdom, I think, and a couple of other people which I probably can't remember. And I had started on this fabric, but when I did a count, it's going to be like over here. And, oh, is it? And the Krynic, which has like 3 spools of, is the same color as this, so it just blends straight in. I had picked this, but I somehow think I've got to do a floss toss. I don't think this is going to be it. And that fabric from Anzac is by Seraphim, hand-dyed fabric by Laurie. So that Anzac fabric, 32 count, is by Seraphim, hand-dyed fabrics by Laurie. Because she also did this. It's beautiful fabric. But I'm still tossing up on what and if I need another fabric. The other one, which I'm hoping to be a restart this year, is in the StitchNButton bag, and this is Rapunzel by Mirabilia. And I did start on this pink fabric. I think, when were you? I would have started this in 2016, and that's it. I love the fabric, but it's not the right one for this picture, especially when it's going to Iona, and Iona does not like pink. So I have Lavender Fields by Colour Cascades, and the other fabric was Colour Cascades as well. So it's going to be started on this fabric. I still consider them whips because they have started and I'm wanting to do a restart. The other one, which I'll show when I get to it, is going to be my chatelaine. I'm going to do a restart on that as well at some point. Not maybe next year. The kids are starting, I have 4 kids, and my oldest is leaving home next year. She's going to Scotland, and my youngest turns 10 actually tomorrow. So they're all getting up in age, and I was always hesitant to bring out a chatelaine because of all the fancy floss. So I think everyone's old enough. My life has not remotely slowed down, but I can now get it out and leave it out without worrying about dirty little fingers potentially roaring something. All right, so when Anzac is finished, my next focus for a finish is in this bag, which was gifted to me by Stitching May. Not that I stitch anything to do with it, but one of my favorite TV shows is Doctor Who. And it's going to, oh God, in a very ripped, very sad looking cover page. is Spangled by Long Dog Sampler. And it is stitched on 32 count Bittersweet. Yeah, I don't know who the designer of the fabric was. And I started this on the 1st of October in 2018, and I started with Stitching May and Sammy J Stitches and a couple of other people. No, maybe it was just them two. And this is all I have done. So this is going to take me a very long time to complete. But when this one is done, lo and behold, will come out and become a focus on a finish in like 2-3 years time, reality speaking. And in this Stitch and Button bag is going to be my next Joan Elliott stitch on a finish till it's finished, once Sleeping Beauty's finished. And this is Christmas Blue Angel. And this I think was actually my first Mirabilia, first Joan Elliott that I started. And I started in sometime in 2016, and it's on 32 count Belfast Opal by Mermaid's Tails and Angel Wings. That's where I am on that one. I have to say, I don't love working on Belfast anymore. Most of the fabric I now buy is even weave. I'm not going to restart my Belfast ones. I don't mind stitching on them. I prefer even weave. Okay. This is actually coming out this month to work on for 1,000 stitches roughly, and that is Mirabilia's Sleeping Beauty. And this was a birthday start, and this is in a Jan Stitching Necessities bag. And this is stitched on 32 count Ariel Belfast by Picture This Plus. Haven't stitched on it yet. Big piece of fabric. That's my starting point. And that sun's washing it out a bit. There we go. That bird kind of agrees with me. In this bag, which this is the bag that was gifted to me by some stitchers from a retreat in Perth. And they're like, hey, can you come? And I'm like, no. Basically, no. Tiny Dancer. I'm not going to name, a lot of these were started with a group of people in 2020. And while I think of it, I started a whole bunch of whips and I can never remember who I started with what, but Flissy Stitches, Laura Ann, Stitch and Button Vicky, Reading and Stitches Vicky, Jessie Marie, Natty Stitches, Sammy J, did I say Stitching May? Who else? Lisa from Shady Trees Stitches. I think that's it. Those are the people who I did a lot of starts with in 2020. and I can't remember specifically who I started. I've done restarts, I've lost the book that I had all this information in, but it was a great time, and I started a whole heap of stuff with these lovely people. The cross-stitching community is amazing. I get to chat with people on virtual stitches, which I'll put a link below. You just need to, it's on Facebook, answer the questions, ask the admin for the details on how to log in, and you get to talk to people all across the country on Zoom. There's probably heaps of places you can do that, but that's where I go. Anyway, back to Tiny Dancer by Joan Elliott. And it's stitched on, do I have a little card? No. It's on a 32 count even weave, and I have a funny feeling it is from Colour Cascades. And that is my minute little star that I think I started in 2020. And I've never picked it up again. In this Stitch and Button bag, that was the other person, Harriet, because I started this for Harriet's birthday. And Lisa from Lisa Stitching and Stitch. There's just, yeah, a whole group of us people that started. The Embroideress by Joan Elliott. And this is stitched on 32 count Barbie Girl by Colour Cascades, and I started this on the 5th of September 2020. And again, haven't stitched on it since. And this is why I need to whip down. I think anywhere between 30 to 35 whips is my happy place. That way there could be anywhere 10 to 15 whips I don't necessarily work on every year. But it's not 25 plus. In this Emily C bag is another Joan Elliott, the Dancing Butterfly Fairy. And this is stitched on 32 count Jobelin by Fabrics by Stephanie. I don't have a name. Oh, yes, I do. April Showers. And that is my very minute start. I love this fabric though. In this Stitch and Button bag is one that I think I'm going to restart, and it is Lard the Fantasy Elf. Love her. Don't necessarily love a bit about her face, but I love her. This is 30 count kit fabric, and I've only done like that much, but I don't love the fabric. It's, yeah, something about it. So I think this is going to be a restart. And I think I'll just get some 32 count like white fabric and and start that. Because yeah, with all that background stitching, you might as well just have it on white. And this is a bag from, I think it was Nell's Little Yellow House. She was on Flosstube. She doesn't do it anymore. It's a Doctor Who one. She doesn't make bags anymore. And in here is The Time Traveller by Joan Elliott. And this will come out next year for 1,000 stitches. And this is stitched on 32 count Full Fairy by Colour Cascades, even weave. And it was started, oh my goodness, the 17th of the 10th, 2017. I think after Blue Fairy, I'm going to bring this one out for a finish. And there we go. I love this. I love how the umbrella turned out. Was it really? My goodness, it was that long ago. So the reason I got this and really wanted to start it was because at that time, the new Doctor Who, there was talks about being a female, and it was Jodie that came out as Doctor. And it's just thrown me. Was it really 2017, 2018 that it actually happened? But yeah, there was huge talks of the Doctor being a female and all the outrage of that happening. And it's like, it's an alien. Like, my clearance level is low. It's an alien. Like, it changes faces all the time. So, but yeah. Love it. Love how the umbrella turned out, the detail, everything. And then, in this StitchNButton bag, is The Reader by Joan Elliott. Stitched on 32 count Bashful by Picture This Plus. You'll want a cover page. Now this is the magazine version. I have no idea what that's for. But anyway, that's the magazine version, which is a little bit different to. So this is where I've got to. And I started this on the 5th of July, 2017. This is another one that's pretty old. But I love it. This is another one that I just love stitching on. And I need to get back to it. It needs to be, yeah. I think this is why I struggle sometimes. I can start off quite chirpy and I get halfway through and I'm like, this is so annoying me that I have not touched this. Why is there not more progress? And then I think I just go, in this Emily C bag is my black Swan, and I can't really pronounce that name. But she is gorgeous. And I love that wolf. And this is stitched on 28 Joberlin Tactical Combo by Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And I started this on the 28th of November, 2019. And I am in that dress. I love the shading. That looks so good. And Joberlin fabric is just so soft to touch. Not always the nicest to stitch with though. That's what we've got. In this beautiful Stitch and Button bag is Dragon Fairy by Joan Elliott. And I have like a gazillion cards in here telling me all the details. It's stitched on 32 count even weave, but it doesn't tell me who, on the 5th of July, 2018. And that's where I'm up to. Looks good. Loving the colours. My favourite colour is blue. Right, and in this Stitch and Button bag is another Joan Elliott. One that I started with Vicky Stitch and Button for her birthday. And I started it on the 14th of November 2020. I don't think it was on her birthday though. And it's this one from Picture This Plus, 28 count. And she sent me the threads for it, which was really, really nice of her. Oh, you might want to see the actual chart. It is the dragon and the fairy. And that is my starting point for that. I don't think I've picked it up since. I actually think this was pulled for next year. This fabric is beautiful as well. Right, that's that for that basket. I'll just quickly stop, put this one down and get another one out so you're not watching me pack and move. All right, next basket. This is a bag by someone that's no longer selling bags. Terry Lee Crafts. She did an amazing job. And this is 3 for Tea. Now I did a whole heap of starts with the people on Zoom, and then there's 2 Australians who I've actually met. You don't often meet people, but I have met. One is Stitching Noni. She was on Flosstube. She said she might be doing a comeback, and the other one is Kim, and she did do Flosstube for a little bit, but she does a lot of traveling, so she finds it hard. And we did a whole heap of Mirabilia starts for our birthdays, randomly sections, you know, and I can't quite remember all of them. This was one of them. Tree of Hope might have been one. Like, there's a whole heap of Mirabilias that we started, and we still keep in contact. And as I said, I've met them. One lives in Perth, one lives over east, and randomly, for various different reasons, we've ended up meeting each other, and they're lovely people, and we still keep in contact, you know, because, you know, you don't always keep in contact with people, and it's really great. Anyway, so one of them was 3 for Tea, and I started on the 5th of October 2019. And do I have any fabric details? No. But this is where I'm up to. So I think I've done maybe side to side. And I don't think I showed you a before pic. Here it is, 3 for tea. This would help. So yeah. It is awesome, the people that you can meet and grow friendships from without, not saying that you should, you know, be friendly with everyone on the internet, but I've been very fortunate with who I've met and how lucky I am. In this bag is the Forest Goddess by Mirabilia. And this was started the 1st of May 2020, and it's by 28 count Highland by Pitch This Place, the fabric. And that's my little remote start. I feel like I did like a gazillion starts in 2020, and a lot of them I've restarted. I don't think I will with this one, because I wasn't happy with my fabric choice at the time. In this Stitch and Button bag is Fairy Moon by Mirabilia. And it's on a 32 count even weave, and it's from Chromatic Alchemy, and as far as I'm aware, Chromatic Alchemy has closed. And this is another one. It's the fabric. I just love stitching on it, and it just flows really quickly. The couple of times I have stitched on it, because it's not, I haven't stitched a lot on it really. In this Emily C bag is Spring Queen by Mirabilia. And this is stitched on 32 count Belfast and Highlander, and I started this on the 1st of September 2018. And that's how much I've got on it. This will be the final of the the seasonal queens that I will work on. In this Emily C bag is the Circle of Friends, and I know this is one that I started with Leonie and Kim. And I started this on the 1st of June, and it's on 32 count Belfast, but I don't know who the dyer is offhand, and that's where I am. Probably should have ironed some of these. I don't know why that's got such a weird crease in it, but anyway. Love the colours in this. Did not want to stitch on dark fabric though. This is another bag by that Terry, and she no longer does make bags. And what a surprise, it's a Mirabilia. It is Emerald Mermaid. This was a restart last year, I'm pretty sure. And I'm pretty sure I started this yeah, on colouring cotton. So it's 28 count casual colouring cotton, and the name of the fabric is CIELO, and I restarted it last year. And that's it. Haven't really told you any of the needle minders because most of them are from places that no longer open. But StitchNButton does do needle minders, and a lot of other places do. Just Google needle minders and you'll find them. In this stitching necessities bag is another Mirabilia. I don't seem to have, so I have to put it in a cover pick. It's Mermaid of the Pearls, and this is stitched on Sweet Child of Mine by Colour Cascades. Love this blue, and that's where I am. Is that the way it goes? Yeah. And I am stitching the Cryonic in 8 braid. It's not the best to work with, but I'm loving the look. So, yeah, this was a pain doing the 8 braid in those bubbles, but I'm really, really loving the look of it. Where the cover pick's gone for that one. In this Emily C bag. Should we all die of shock when I say it's another Mirabilia? Do I have my little card in here? I do. Okay, this is Villa Mirabilia by Mirabilia, and I restarted it last year on 32 count Hole in the Sky by Colour Cascades. That's my restart. The fabric is a little bit more green than what it's showing. It's a beautiful colour. Now this is a bag from Journey of a Stitcher. She doesn't do bags anymore. She's not even open. And this was a gift to me by Jessie Marie. And it has another Mirabilia in it. This has got Queen Mariposa or Mariposa. And this is stitched on 28 count Confetti by Hand Dyed by Stephanie, and I started this the 20th of May. Doesn't give me the year though. I think it was 2020. That's my start. Not sure if I'm loving that fabric for it though. I think this might end up being a restart. Yeah. I think the background's too busy considering she's quite colourful. I'd have to put that in there. Probably need to stitch on it for a little bit and see. This is a bag that I won in an auction to raise money. Delicious Threads. And we have another Mirabilia. This one was started, where is it? On the 3rd of August, 2020, I think, or maybe earlier, or 2019. Garden Prelude. And I'm stitching this on 28 count Angel's Morning by Colour Cascades. And I'm not sure which way it goes, but that's what I've got done. I think it might go the other way. I really love that design. I started learning to play the violin with a violin that's been in the family. I'm tone deaf, so it didn't go well. But I mean, I went fine. I just couldn't pick up the notes when it was slightly off. But my uncle played the violin and he played it really well. And he played a lot in Sydney, where he lived. He was also one of these people that could play any instrument. He was very musically talented. In this StitchNButton bag is, drum roll, another Mirabilia. This is the Bliss Fairy. And I have a very sad start. Now, this started, I'm pretty sure, in 2020 as well. And you can't see anything with me holding it like that. And I don't have the information, but I'm pretty sure I started this in 2020. Okay, in this MLC bag is Winter Queen by Mirabilia, and it's stitched on 32 count Belfast in Glacier. I also really love Glacier. By Picture This Plus on the 1st of June, because I started all the seasons on our beginning of our seasons, 2018. And this is where I'm up to. Actually, it goes this way. Does it? No, I feel like it does go this way. I feel like I was right the first time. So this is going to be my 3 monthly next year, and then work on to a finish once March Fairy has been done. Probably because it's my least favourite, to be honest. And last one in this bag from StitchNButton is the Scary Sampler by Heartstring Sampler. And in it, it has all the different book, show, movie. You've got The Bleak House by Charles Dickens, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Jane Eyre, Wuthering Heights, The Island of Dr. Moore, something by H.G. Wells, The Great Expectations, Harry Potter, Beetlejuice, Jurassic Park, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Star Wars, Men in Black, Stranger Things, Lost, X-Files, Fringe, Doctor Who, and Star Trek, the original series. And this, I'm pretty sure, is down to work. When did I start it? And what fabric? And I've got neither. It's stitched on. Oh, hang on. It is stitched on colouring cotton, hand-dyed fabrics, salt rock, 1/1. Where does this go? This way? And that's where I'm up to. So I think this is my 3 monthly. And there is another one of this out that is more normal and doesn't have all the reference. But yeah, could actually go this way. I'm not sure. And I'm pretty sure that piece is way bigger than it needs to be. I just haven't bothered cutting it down. Anyway, that's that basket done, but I think I'm just gonna put the basket down and pick up the other one. And let's keep going. In this bag that was gifted to me by Melody, she made it, is, Magic Study, which I have UFO'd. So this can be dekitted. I have UFO'd Magic Study. I just wasn't loving the stitch count, to be honest. It wasn't coming up quite as I had imagined it by seeing what other people have done. So I won't even bother. Just put this one down here. Before any, like a picture of it. Someone else has, because it's no longer, because it was a Heaven and Earth design, it's no longer with Heaven and Earth, it's with someone else. Apparently looks a bit better with the colouring. I'm not sure, to be honest. By the time I finish Outback Storm, I'm not sure I will restart it, even through someone else. I've got other full coverage that I want to do. In this Jan Necessary bag is something. Which one is this? Oh, this is from Colour Creations Golden Finch and Blossoms or something like that. There'll be a 4-pick. This is stitched on 25 count 1/1 full cross. I'll be careful because that's got a chart. In this Melody bag is, do I have a pick in here? No. It's the Luring Sorceress by Dimensions. It's that chart and charm. And it's on like 14 count Ada or 16. And that's my starting point. This was a restart. I was doing it on 18 count and then realized, I feel like this isn't, I don't think this is big enough. That doesn't look right. This might be a restart again. Because yeah, no way. Alright, that goes down there. That is to, Belinda needs to look at that because she looks like she stuffed up that. In this StitchNButton bag is Cinderella Rags to Riches. And I'm doing both on the same fabric. And it is 32 vanilla lace by hand dyed by Steph, and I started this on the 26th of September 2020. And that's all I've done. I love doing Wip Parades. I love going through and going, I think this doesn't work anymore, or that fabric does not look the right size. This is my chatelaine. And I'm pretty sure this is in a Terry Lee bag. I'm going to show it to you, but it will be a restart. So it's a Scottish Mandala. I'm going to do this on 28 count in like white. It's beautiful. I don't know what I was thinking with the pink though. If we're not go with this house. Not that I was living in this house at that time, but yeah, forward planning. That can go down there. Oh, and what appears to be the last one in this Jan Necessities bag is, I think this is Artisy, A Mother's Love. No, this is Heaven and Earth Designs, Breathe. So, because I UFO'd the other one as well. So I have 2 actively going. But yeah, this is stitched on 25 count gridded, 1/1 full cross. And we're done. Very surprisingly, we are done. So if you made it through to the end, congratulations. It was a bit of a roller coaster, very long. I think this is the longest whip parade I've ever done with roughly the same amount of whips. So as a reward, I'm doing a giveaway. I've been doing Flosstube for, I think it's 8 years, plus 2,000 plus subscriber giveaway. And I have 2 prizes. One of them is going to be this lovely pack by StitchNButton, where you'll get a bag, I think it's a miniature bag, and some little goodies from her. She has it, it's already made, getting ready to send. Whoever wins it will be sent to you anywhere in the world. I love Vicky's bags. I like how well made they are. I love the designs. I love how she does very different designs to suit everyone. And she's just been a really good friend as well. So in the last lot of bags, I was like, I'm going to buy these bags and I'm going to do a giveaway. So that's what we've done. But Vicky is keeping them in America so that we're not paying postage to Australia, and then chances are someone in America wins it and we send it back to America. Let's pay postage once. So yeah, that's going to be prize number 1. And the second prize is going to be a gift voucher to Colour Cascades. I love their fabric, and Tammy is just amazing, and she's coming out with exciting new fabric. She's done a vintage range, which is very good for the samplers. Some of them are in very neutral colors, and others are still that little bit Tammy, which has vibrant colors. Tammy is very good with her vibrant colors. And then she's done a whole different other collections. They're amazing, beautiful ranges of color. She's really good with color. So I'm going to do a $60 gift voucher from her, and it's $60 Australian. And I did it that way to try and cover so that you could get maybe a fabric from her, and it covers a bit of postage to another country with the conversion rate. So it's $60 Australian. Again, it's open up everywhere. You may or may not have to pay extra for extra if you're from a country and the conversion rate is crap. Like if you only get $30, $40 in your country, you might have to pay something. But I've tried to give a bit of wiggle room to help with that. So yeah, both of these people are people who I buy a lot from, who I have high regard from, and I want to share them with you. So if you want to enter the drawer. You didn't really think of this. I'm going to do what I normally do because I actually really like doing it. Name me your favorite Flosstuber. Maybe someone that doesn't have heaps of followers and you wanted them to build up more numbers. I know it's pretty standard, this is what I do, but I enjoy finding new Flosstubers this way as well. And honestly, if your favorite Flosstuber has, you know, 10,000 followers, but you love her that much that you want, or him, and you want to share that person, put them down. I don't care. I'm not going to judge you. And if it's someone who I haven't seen and I think they're pretty great as well, that is wonderful. So share me your favorite Flosstuber. If you want to enter into both, just share me your favorite Flosstuber. If you want to enter in one or the other, just in a sentence write either StitchNButton or Colour Cascades. Do not mention giveaway or prize or anything that indicates that. You need to be over 18 so that you can send me your email for the voucher and address for the bags. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, if you want to enter, favorite Flosstuber, and if you don't want to enter in both, oh my god, my blank, just in a sentence add StitchNButton or Colour Cascades. I will be writing this down. I'm not going to do a general search, so if you're an American and you spell colour a different way, you will still get entered. It is completely fine. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for being amazing. Thank you for putting up with me for 8 years. Thank you for my shoddy Flosstubes. Watching other people, especially when there's two of them, or some people who are just highly enthusiastic. I'm not, remotely. And the bigger the Flosstube, I tend to start off really happy and I downpour. And I'm aware of this. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you so much for being there watching. I have viewers who have watched every single video and I appreciate you so much from being there from the beginning. You guys are amazing. It's been a long road. You were there. I think I started when William was 18 to 2 years old, moving from that farm to this farm, not having a kitchen for 18 months, ups, downs, highs, lows. Last year was definitely a low. You guys have been there, listening, supporting, just being nice. I've been very lucky. I've only ever had a handful of dodgy comments, but thank you. Thank you so much. It's been a ride. It's been wonderful. And at this point in time, I'm hoping to keep going. But yeah, thank you so much and I'll see you soon. Bye.